Hi, I'm Jack Hargreaves, and this is The Novelist in the Attic by Shen Dacheng, taken from Comma Press's The Book of Shanghai anthology. The Novelist in the Attic. Before the first signs of dusk show in the sky, the editors start to call it a day, stacking the pages of their half-finished manuscripts and clicking off the green lamp-shaded lights above their desks. Officers fall dark one by one. The corridors connecting these officers clear a floor at a time. At his usual hour, the security guard appears. This house of culture promises no shocks, no surprises, nothing to fear. And by the time he has completed one lackadaisical patrol of the building, leaving a single lamp lit on every floor, the sky outside is pitch black. The small building that houses the publisher has fallen absolutely still. This is when the novelist chooses to step out of his room. Through the attic door, he descends. Down a flight of black marble stairs, around the landing corner, and down another flight to the floor below. He strolls leisurely along the deserted corridor, under old-fashioned chandeliers hung from exquisitely carved ceiling panels, past one office door after another, all shut. At the end of the corridor, he stops. 14 tall, slender windows set side by side occupy more than half the wall before him. Through them, he can see the line of wutong trees planted along the roadside. From spring to autumn, their green proliferates, steadily deepens, then just as steadily wanes. In winter, only spindly skeletal branches remain. When the leaves burgeon again into shady luxuriance, he can be found at these windows, watching for hours as the leaves sway here and there with every slight breeze. A dizzying spell that sets his head rolling as if aboard a ship sailing over verdure waves. This winter evening, however, windless, waveless, serene, he looks out onto the stark naked treetop that is almost level with him. Then he continues down the staircase, stopping at each floor to wander aimlessly, before lingering briefly at each corridor's end to look afresh at the window-framed scenery. The wutong treetop, upper branches, lower branches, the broad trunk descending all the way to the ground. Finally, he comes to the ground floor where the on-duty guard has just finished a patrol and is sat behind his walnut counter, ready to idle away his tedious empty hours, flicking through a newspaper, drinking tea, sitting until sometime between 8 and 9 when he will perform the final patrol, then retire to the off-duty lounge, and not emerge again until his next shift. The security guard has been listening to the sole remaining footsteps in the publishing house since their steady pad began far above him, resounding through every inch of the building. Decades ago, when the guard was still young and new to the job, he had felt compelled to exchange words with the novelist, if only to ascertain how many lines he had written that day. As time passed, to simply see the novelist's expression was enough. And now, with years of experience, he only need hear his footsteps. Having written plenty, the novelist, satisfied with himself, walks slowly. Having written little, encumbered by distress, he walks slower still. Either way, it's slow, but the security guard has learnt to tell the difference. Today's been productive. He makes his first assessment based on the sound of the footsteps alone. Then, seeing the novelist stride down the final flight of stairs, he expands. He's been on a roll recently. The writing is clearly going smoothly. Beside the former director, the security guard is the person who understands the novelist best, a fact which has escaped the notice of all three. The two share a brief greeting. Then the novelist, stopping in the building threshold, fastens the collar of his old overcoat, pushes open the door, steps outside and walks into the small alluring avenue on which the publishing house stands. Passing the wutong tree that he has already contemplated from 3 tiers of perspective, high, middle, low, he now adopts a pedestrian's point of view to contemplate the tree once more. After all, a novelist should look at any one thing from every possible angle and, more importantly, never weary of doing so. He has ventured out to eat dinner. After dinner, he will take a long walk, then return to the publishing house, to his attic. The novelist lives in the publishing house, permanently. Thank you.